Alrighty guys, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. Did a couple of Strixhaven drafts. So far, I'm doing okay. Getting up to close to 5 wins usually, and I think that's fine, but I definitely need to hit my 7. So, yeah, let's give it a spin. Haven't drafted in a long time on Arena. And I also did a ton of paper draft doing this set, so quite familiar with everything now. Overall, I think Lorehold and Witterbloom are the weakest, but can still be pretty powerful if you find the uncommons and rares that go along with it. So I'm not opposed to drafting the weaker guilds, since you can just get past a bunch of goodies if you can read the signals and opening pack one, pick one. Auric Lore Mage is pretty bad. Sure, you can grow this over time, but you're just going to end up exiling a bunch of your instances and sorceries, and Black doesn't usually care about exiling their own stuff, so it's pretty bad. Cultivate, however, could be a good, reasonable first pick. It's pretty flexible, can play this in Witterbloom or Quandrix, and Splash, and it's a great card. The uncommons are pretty decent. I actually like the Prismari Pledgemage over the Prismari Apprentice, since Prismari tends to be very controlling. At times, I guess this is better in a more aggressive Prismari deck, but I find for the most part Prismari is better off playing defense, since it wants to get to the late game to cast its powerful bomb spells. Quandrix Cultivator is excellent, same with Witterbloom Apprentice. I think I'm just going to take a Cultivate to stay open, and this is still pretty good in Quandrix and Witterbloom, and by doing this we can also splash. So just going to stay open and read the sign signals here, so Cultivate seems like a pretty reasonable first pick. After first picking Cultivate, some other good cards in this pack. Ingenious Mastery can be quite good. If you can get to the late game and just cast this, you can just draw a million cards, and that's really good. Usually you don't want to pay the 3 mana, but if you can play a bunch of lands, you can just draw a bunch with this, so this goes well with the Cultivate. Mentor's Guidance is okay. Quintorius is one of those cards you really need in the Lorehold decks, but I don't think we take it here after first picking Cultivate. There's also Heated Debate, which is a great removal spell. Fractal Summoning, probably the best, also a great card, same with Field Trip. Lots of great options here. I think I just want to stick on color and take green. The best pack one pick one here is probably Heated Debate, but I mean, I could splash for the Heated Debate actually, if I think about it, since Cultivate can help me find my red mana. So yeah, it could be reasonable just taking the Heated Debate here, and I think pack one pick one I would take the Heated Debate. Ingenious Mastery again, pretty good with Cultivate as well. Lots of options. I think with a Cultivate, I don't need to prioritize a Field Trip that highly, but let's just take a Heated Debate, maybe end up splashing this in some sort of green deck, and I'm fine with it. I think this is going to be as best in like Quandrix with Prismari. Ooh, Ingenious Inspiration, so kind of happy that I took the Heated Debate, because now there's just another great removal spell in red. 3 damage to any target and learn is pretty busted, so gonna take it here. If we stuck with our green, or if we stuck with the plan of staying green, we can take a Quandrix Pledgemage as a pretty good 3-drop. Believe it or not, this is actually might even be better in Prismari, since you're looking to cast lots of instances or sorceries. But you know, Ingenious Inspiration is quite nice. Just gonna pick up all the removal essentially, and maybe tempo the opponent out with the removal spells. So I mean, had we taken last pack, it was hard. I don't think I would have taken Field Trip. The Fractal Summoning would also be the good pick. Same with the Ingenious Mastery. But again, I think Heated Debate was a better pack one pick one, and here the Ingenious Inspiration is great. So maybe we just end up drafting red now. And as I see that, there's a Elemental Summoning, which is a great lesson. There's also Ardent Dusk Speaker, which can be pretty solid. Better in Lorehold than Prismari. There's also Prismari Pledgemage. So it seems like red is quite open here, and given that red is open, I think I just like the lesson here, since it goes pretty well for Ingenious Inspiration. Can make a 4/4 elemental creature token, which is quite impactful on turn 5. Pledgemage could also be reasonable, same with Ardent Dusk Speaker, but just going to take the Summoning and maybe just draft red. Pigment Storm is great, it's just a good removal spell. Field Trip is a good green common as well. I think we're just going to be maining red, since I keep seeing a lot of red and not too much great green cards. Wrangler's fine, Reconstruct History can be a fun build around, but overall, I think in Lorehold you'd rather just be more aggressive, so you want to get back creatures, and you don't want to spend your time building around things like this. Yeah, Field Trip could also be reasonable, but yeah, just take Pigment Storm, and then maybe just go base red, and we'll just keep taking another Pigment Storm. So I guess we're set up for a nice red control deck. I'm hoping I end up in Prismari over Lorehold, but Lorehold also seems kind of open here. We can still be a control deck in either Lorehold and Prismari, and then if we can just get to the late game and kill a bunch of stuff, we should be good. Spirit Summoning is quite good. Overgrown Arc, Eureka Movement are also excellent. Overgrown Arc I find to be incredibly powerful in Witterbloom, but still pretty good in Quandrix as well, but best in Witterbloom. Eureka Movement's also great, but we'll just keep taking our red cards here. So we can be Boros, we can be Prismari, and we are seeing late Pilgrimage Ages, but Illustrious Historian can still be a fine 2-drop in our Prismari decks, and still keeps our options open. Pilgrim is pretty good too in Boros, since you can always exile it. You can bring this back on turn 6, but Illustrious Historian you can also bring back, so just going to take the more open option here. And then a pretty late Defend the Campus, Prismari Pledgemage, and Lorehold Pledgemage still in the pack. I think if I have an option to be in either Prismari or Lorehold, I'd rather be in Prismari, and it seems like we're more set up towards to be a Prismari deck if you ignore the Illustrious Historian. So could just take a Prismari Pledgemage as a good ground blocker, and then overall we just don't have too many creatures, just a lot of instances and sorceries. So yeah, I think the Pledgemage makes sense here. Prismari, I think. And if we pick up enough lands, we can play the Vortex Runner if we can get to the late game. But this is better than Quandrix, but could still see it being reasonable. Could maybe take the land to maybe splash for green, but usually I don't like splashing green in the red-blue deck, since green is usually the color that you want to use to splash and fix with. And most of the powerful bomb green cards are double green, so taking up the land didn't seem necessary. Whereas we can still play something like Vortex Runner, because if we're trying to get to the late game, we can always use a creature that can help close out. Now I do like Quandrix Pledgemage in the Prismari decks. Blood Age General I find to be pretty underwhelming, since you can't really use this on defense to pump your creatures, whereas Pledgemage is always just great on turn 3, so yeah, I definitely want to be in Prismari with this type of deck. Pledgemage is going to be pretty awesome. It's almost going to be like, what's that card in Word of Spark? The 2/2 elemental that gains a counter whenever you cast a non-creature spell. But this one, I guess, is double blue to cast, I guess, but still pretty powerful. Definitely a worse version of the Spellgorger Weird. I think that's the name of it. Spellgorger Odd, I think, or Spellgorger Weird, don't know. Here I'll just take a Curate, can be a fine way to enable Pledgemage and can help smooth out our draws. Yeah, just a nice way to opt for 2 mana. But I prefer opt, of course, obviously, so this seems quite good. And I'm hoping I can just force Prismari. Don't think any of these matter. Take a random Defiant Strike as a Mystical Archive card. Could actually play a Letter of Acceptance so it can help us ramp as well. But this looks like a pretty good start to draft. Had to abandon our first pick, but still we're at the signals and getting rewarded, so I don't find Access Tunnel to be too good in this set. Yeah, this card isn't great. Lorehold Command could be splashable, but there's also just another Ingenious Inspiration, which is probably better than Heated Debate since it allows us to learn and grab a bunch of lessons. So I'm probably going to take the Ingenious Inspiration here. Lorehold Command is probably one of the better commands. You can make a 3/2 at instant speed, give your creatures indestructible, +1/+0, deal 3 damage to any target, gain 3 life. Yeah, this card is pretty nuts, but probably just going to take Ingenious Inspiration to stay open here and not commit myself to Lorehold. Heat Debate is also awesome, but not going to pass up on an Ingenious Inspiration, since it's not only removal but card advantage, so just a nice 2-for-1 with all these lessons that if we pick them up. This could be a deck for Cemetery Sage, although just also Frost Trickster and Creative Outburst. Outburst, I don't think it's that amazing since 7 mana deal 5 draw a card doesn't seem great. Cemetery Sage also doesn't seem great. You have to be more an aggressive Prismari deck. We seem to be a little bit more defensive, to be honest, and just a 0-2 isn't a good blocker. So it could actually be reasonable taking the Frost Trickster here, although we do have a bunch of removal at 3. Frost Trickster can at least maybe give us a good flyer that can help us close out the game and can tap something down. And it's just pretty nice and efficient at 3 mana. So I think I like this. If this wasn't this pack, probably take Creative Outbursts, since it can still maybe make a treasure token. But Frost Trickster does seem pretty good. This card's good, but again, still 7 mana is a lot. And yeah, we have a lot of removal already. Pigment Storm essentially deals 5 for 5 mana, so rather just have the Frost Trickster here. Can take another Pledgemage. Counter spells could be playable. There's also Waterfall Aerialist. Return Past Color can be a fine card to splash for 2 since it can get back an instant or sorcery, but still probably just take a Pledgemage here. Just have a nice defensive 2-drop that can maybe help us block in the early game or pressure the opponent. Could take a second Quandrix Pledgemage. I think I like the Pledgemage over Kelpie Guide. Kelpie Guide does give us a bit of ramp, but it's better off in Quandrix if you can hit 8 lands, so it can be used as a removal spell. I think I like the Pledgemage here, just giving us another threat that can grow larger if we're able to just cast our instances and sorcery. So yeah, seems quite good. Let's see, yeah, and this is pick 4. I forgot why I took pick 3. Pick 2. I know I first picked the Inspiration, and I think I took Frost Trickster last pack, and then I forgot why I took Pledgemage, I guess. So yeah, I just take the Pledgemage over the Ramp Creature. Another Frost Trickster. I could also take the Pillar Drop Warden now, given that we have a lot of 3s already. And it could be fine, since it can also just help us get an instant or sorcery in the late game, and just a pretty decent blocker. Is that wrong, taking over Frost Trickster? It might be, since again this is just a very good 3-drop. So yeah, maybe I just take another Frost Trickster here. It's definitely better than Pillar Drop, but I don't mind taking a Pillar Drop Warden later. Having 1 copy could always be nice. And Expanded Anatomy could be a fine lesson to learn up as well. Bibliotech Assistant, not a big fan of it. Just, I think, a little bit too slow. There's also Arcane of Subtraction, but I think we're fine with everything we have here. There's also land. Maybe we just want the land for the fixing. Expanded Anatomy is, again, okay. We only have 2 ways to learn currently. Yeah, these cards are all okay. I think I just want the land to improve my mana base. And then now, I guess, I do like the Ogre Battleseer quite a ton. But I also don't mind a Pillar Drop Warden again on turn 4, because we do have some 5s already. We have a lot of 3, although this is another way to learn. I think we currently don't have too many lessons, so maybe Pillar Drop Warden is still fine. This could be an okay lesson, but not exciting. Fine having 1 copy of Warden to play defense. And, well, I do like Serpentine Curve in these types of Prismari decks. Burying Books is also quite a good card, from my experience. But yeah, Serpentine Curve can be quite nice. Even if it doesn't grow too large, you can curve out Pledgemage into Serpentine Curve, and it's quite decent. So, yeah. I think Serpentine Curve is going to be at its best in Prismari, and then we can take another Elemental Summoning. And then, do I take the Bibliotech Assistant? Could also take Introduction to Prophecy. Cemetery Sage, we could be a more aggressive deck too, so I could actually see myself taking this as well. This could be also decent, but kind of clunky. Maybe we can test out the Cemetery Sage. Not a great card, but could see myself maybe still playing it. Just testing it out. Maybe I just take a 4-drop here. Can give us another evasive flyer. So I guess the game plan is basically maybe like a blue-red tempo sort of deck. So we gravitated from a control deck to a little bit more aggressive version, which I'm fine with. Since now these Pledgemages, Frost Tricksters, and Aerialist makes it a little bit more aggressive overall. Probably don't want Symmetry Sage, but I could see. But I mean, if I had cheaper spells, maybe. But overall, like a 0-2 flyer isn't amazing. First day in class can be a decent way to learn. Maybe I still take the assistant. Can be a fine improvement or something. I don't know. Inkling something. What's this doing? 15 pick. That doesn't make any sense. All right. So next pack. Dispute could be fine. There's also Sciences, another Quandrix Pledgemage, even though we have 2 of them already on 3. Academic Dispute, I find, could be actually reasonable as a cheap cantrip. There's also Wormhole Serpent, which could help us close out. I like the fact that this is 1 mana and can power up the Pledge Mages. Same with Prismari and Quandrix, and can maybe force something to block to get out of the way. Environmental Scientist is a decent lesson, but we have 3 creature lessons already. Yeah, with a bunch of 3-drops, don't think I need a 3rd Quandrix Apprentice. Maybe just need a cheap cantrip like the Academic Dispute, which can also help us learn. So, don't actually hate this card. I see it being pretty good in this deck, so let's take it here. Fervent Mastery is pretty bad. Don't think about it. Fractal Summoning is quite good. Ogre Battle Mage, Serpentine Curve. Yeah, we'll just keep taking all these lessons. Why not? We have 3 ways to learn them, and then, yeah, it's just really nice just having the flexibility to learn these lessons. So, yeah, let's take it. Ooh, Dream Strix, nice 3-drop, and also another way to learn when it dies. There's another Fractal Summoning, another Pigment Storm, but yeah, just going to take all the 3-drop evasive threats that we can. There's another Frost Trickster. Although with a bunch of 3s already, I might prefer another Illustrious Historian. The equation doesn't seem super amazing. Could just take another Spirit Summoning. I do have enough lessons, I think, though. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 4 lessons already, so I probably don't need another Spirit Summoning. So Strategic Planning could also be okay. But given that I lack 2s, I might just want another Illustrious Historian to play defense in the early game, and then that can be fine. Ooh, Maelstrom Muse. Yeah, I do like the Maelstrom Muse. Can give us a bit of evasion, and then it can also just power up, just give me a nice ramp for my instances and sorcery. So that's good. Ooh, what's this? Explosive Welcome is great, but I don't think I can take it over a Heated Debate. Just a pretty efficient removal spell. Has to be better, I have to imagine. And then we just need 2 more playables. Heated Debate is quite good. Yeah, I guess we're going to be a more tempo-oriented version of this deck. And with that being said, I don't mind another Pigment Storm, since if we're going to be a little bit more aggressive, I don't mind having that extra trample damage from the Pigment Storm. Belting Starch to Scratch can be good, but it can be a fine lesson. Okay, so now we're at 23 playables. Wow, even another Pigment Storm. There's another Pop Quiz, which can help us learn. I think with triple Pigment Storm, we don't need to prioritize another one, so maybe I take a Pop Quiz here. And then, yeah, maybe I just cut the Illustrious Historian. It's a fine 2-drop, but doesn't seem... I guess if I put the Fractal Summoning away, this looks better. Infuriate could be fine. So overall, not a bad deck. So if we move the interaction spells to the side, this is kind of our curve. This is a 4-drop. And yeah, maybe we just play an aggressive, like, Prismari type of deck. Symmetry Sage could also be fine, but it's, again, I don't really want to rely on instances and sorceries just to trigger this and make this into a 2-powered creature. Doesn't seem great. And we have plenty of 2-powered creatures anyways that can fly. Infuriate could be reasonable over Curate, but Curate does help us improve our draw steps. But if we're going to be aggressive, Infuriate could also be pretty decent, not going to lie. Assistant is fine. Might just prefer to ward creature regardless, since the ward could matter. And then we have summonings to get from the graveyard, from the sideboard, so yeah, I don't mind a Curate. Although Pop Quiz could be better. Like a second Pop Quiz could just be better than a Curate. Or another Serpentine Curve. Maybe another Serpentine Curve over Pillar Drop Warden. Yeah, maybe. Arcane Subtraction can be a fine way to learn. We pretty much got handed the nuts Prismari deck. Wow, even another Frost Trickster. Don't know how that got there. But it's probably still fine just having 2 copies since my 3s are stacked. Yeah, this is going to be hard to build around, but maybe we can just do it here. Not sure. Curate can maybe go then. It's more of one of the more weaker cards. And then do I play 17 lands? I like the Pop Quiz here. Maybe I just play Infuriate as a fine 1 mana spell, but I'd rather just play maybe Curate then. So this is kind of a curve. I do like these serpentine curves since they can get pretty large. And then what can I play from the sideboard? Don't think I need Assistant. These lessons are all pretty good. Campus needs to make it into the main deck. Warden is a better defensive card, but I think we're going to be too aggressive in this deck. I don't think I really want to use the Pillar Drop Warden when I have enough removal spells to clear a path. Infuriate could be reasonable. Could play a second Frost Trickster. Could play Curate. Could play Arcane Subtraction. So lots of interesting options. Maybe just Arcane is alright, but overall I don't think we'll be... I think we have enough learn with the double Igneous Inspiration and Pop Quiz and Academic Dispute. Same with Dream Strix. So we're not going to lack any ways to learn, so maybe it doesn't make it. And it's a pretty bad spell in general. So I think it's between Infuriate and Curate. Probably don't need triple Frost Trickster. The Historian is actually not that bad too, because it can still like block in the early game. And I'm missing some 2-drops, although yeah, it can give me a nice defensive play on turn 2. I can still cut it though, since it's pretty underwhelming, and just play maybe another Frost Trickster. It could be alright though, maybe. We just have a lot of 3s. Like, I like just curving out 2-drops, use removal and attack at times, and that's already pretty good. So maybe it's just fine like this. We just play... the Infuriate could be fine. But... it's just a cheap spell, right? I mean, this is just a cantrip to go of our Pledgemage and our Pledgemages. Infuriate can give us a pump trick if we need one, and it's just 1 red, so maybe we still run it here. I could also go 16 lands, which could also be reasonable, but I do want to make sure that I have enough lands to cast Fractional Summoning and Elemental Summoning, so maybe still 17, and then we can keep it even split. Because we're going to be quite aggressive, Infuriate could be fine, and it's just cheap to cast. But maybe it's still the Curate here. Yeah, maybe still Curates can help us smooth our draws in case we miss our land drops. Can bottom lands in the late game. Alright, let's try this. See how it goes. And, yeah, I think Pledgemage is kind of our... Oh, maybe the Prismari Pledgemage is kind of our MVPs. Who knows? Let's try this deck out. Opening hand. Seems okay. We can Curate on turn 2. Fuel up our Serpentine Curve. Can even Pop Quiz into maybe Serpentine Curve. Or Frost Trickster on 3. Lots of interesting options, but I think it's still a fine keep. Pledgemage on 3, so I might hold on to this Curate, although it might not be necessary, since again I have a lot of instances and sorceries anyways in this deck. So I might want to use Curate to maybe hit some land drops and make sure I don't fall behind, but we'll see. Opponent's also Prismari. Dream Strix, okay. I think I'll just say go for now. End of turn we can Curate, because we definitely need lands. Opponent does the same. Keeps both on top. Gonna Curate here to fuel up the Serpentine Curve. And I actually want both of them. Although maybe I can ditch the Frost Trickster, although it does give me another evasive threat, but I do have 2 flyers already, so maybe Frost Trickster just goes into the graveyard. Yeah, I mean, I do need to hit my lands, so yeah, I'll just put the Frost Trickster in my graveyard and then just draw the land. And make sure I play my blue so I can play my Pledgemage. And yeah, I guess he doesn't have a removal because he would have used it end of turn, so this isn't bad. We can make a 2/2 Serpentine Curve, which doesn't seem all that exciting, so we might want to start fueling this, play something else. That definitely needs to go. So yep, let's not waste time. And then what do we want to get here? Elemental Summoning can be a nice turn 5 play, and it's pretty large. Don't have any 2-drops to go along with Spirit Summoning, so Summoning looks good. And then we can turn 5 play this Elemental Summoning. And the Pledgemage is just going to grow over time and become a threat that he has to contend with, so not bad. Probably just fine playing out the Elemental Summoning main phase to get the trigger off. And if he responds, that's fine. If he counters this, it's still fine. This is a cast trigger. And I think I'm attacking. You could have a Burying Books, but okay, Tested Towns. Ooh, I guess I still draw cards, right? I still draw cards. I mean, I guess he can. Can you search my sideboard? I guess not. Yeah, I guess he can't really exile them. I still draw 1 card. Do I? Oh, it has to be in my hand, right? Then he gets exiled. So, not a bad card, but still very situational. And not good again. And not that great in every circumstance, so. We can pop quiz, get a land, play Dream Strix. If he's just going to play Environmental Science, he's going to fall too far behind, I think, so. Alright, yeah, just pop quiz here. And we could also just get a Spirit Summoning, but yeah, we could also get Spirit Summoning since Dream Strix can get the other Elemental Summoning, and I can just make a really large Serpentine Curve. So this seems fine. Yeah, Pledgemage is pretty insane if you can't answer it right away in these Prismari decks. Could have a Magma Opus, that's fine. 5/5 is not going to scare me, I can still tap it down with the Frost Trickster, so let's try that. And this should be lethal. Yep. Alright, not bad. That pretty much played out as I imagined. Could also play Arcane Subtraction over the pop quiz, since again I think I have too many 3s, And Arcane can actually be a fine utility tool. Because if you think about, like, I have a lot of turn 3 plays. Like, I know Pop Quiz is a nice card to just play exactly on turn 3 to help me improve my chances of a land drop. But yeah, with all these 3s, it could be reasonable to actually cut the Pop Quiz and throw in the Arcane Subtraction, which can still be fine using it on defense or offense. I think I like that because this can be kind of clunky with all these 3-drops in the deck. So I think that's reasonable. And yeah, what else do I want to concern to about? Not really much. I can also consider dropping the Airless for Warden, but I do like the Flyer, and Serpentine Curve is going to be pretty impactful in this deck. So yeah, let's try this out, and then yeah, I guess this makes it more even split. Not really, I guess it's still 13-13. Since Pop Quiz counts as a blue spell. So. Oh, I guess the system is lagging now? Okay, sure. Right, I mean, it's not that bad. We can learn, and then maybe play a 3-drop. Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's amazing, but still keepable. Wish we can curve out with Pledgemage, of course, but it's never guaranteed, so it should be easy. Maybe hitting a 3rd land at least, maybe, and we still have defensive tools that can deal with the opponent's threats early on. Land is nice. You can always cycle the Academic Dispute, although if I cycle this, I won't be able to cast a Spirit Summoning for 2 either way, unless I get a 3rd land, so we'll just say go. Ooh, Historian, that's quite good. I can block the Prismari Apprentice with this, so happy that I actually put 2 in the deck now. I think I'm gonna kill the Spectacle Mage. Can also force it to block. The Inspiration is also just a good answer to this, because I might want to use this to hold off the Prismari Apprentice, or else it just gets out of hand. So yeah, I think we just take this out before it gives them too much ramp. And then what do I take here? Maybe a Summoning. I do need to hit my lands though, but I do need double red for this anyway, so I guess I'll just grab an Elemental Summoning and then just say go. Can maybe force this to block, which I'm fine with. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive here. I can always run out of Frost Trickster. Yeah, the mage is going to be a little bit too scary, so I have to kill it with the Igneous Inspiration. Ingenious is igneous. Take 2. And I can always just play on my own Frost Trickster. Yep. Just to be mana efficient. Gives us a good flyer. Curate again, okay. Ardent Dust Speaker is quite good, but we have a heated debate to at least answer it, so yeah, I think we have to kill this. And I can still start being aggressive here with these 2 creatures. This can become a 3/3, which isn't all that exciting. Warden is okay. Alright, so we're just gonna have to stay back here, I think. Play double Pledgemage. can always attack here, but it doesn't accomplish anything, so hopefully he just doesn't find if I need to find an answer to this. Overall, he doesn't have any expensive spells, at least. To get back, he can always get back a pop quiz, but he loses the flyer. The Pledgemage can be pretty aggressive too. You know, I guess I can Academic Dispute, force something to block, and then Pledgemage next turn. I can force the Pillar Drop Warden to block, but he's just going to block 2-1, I guess, so pretty interesting. Alright, I guess he can make a creature unblockable over time, so I guess he's just going to sack this maybe, or kill one of my Prismari Pledgemages, okay. Back the Ardent. This will learn here, that's fine. Hit me for 2. That's fine. Actually, not really, because it's quite large. I hate how this can get something back here. Yeah, I could Academic Dispute here just to Psycho and learn. Doesn't seem that great, so he's gonna cast this next turn, and then he's just gonna make this into a 3/3 unblockable, so I probably need to kill this with Heat Debates. And I might just main phase this anyways. Sure. Seems fine. I could have also attacked and killed this as well. I think this is okay. Can chip in for 2 at least, there go. And I can make a pretty large Serpentine Curve if I can play a bunch of these instances in sorceries. Can maybe even sub a decent double block. This can get back Divide by 0, which is annoying. But eventually he's going to run out of learn cards, and I really don't want him growing the Pledgemage, the Apprentice I mean, since he can just keep chipping in for 2, and that's a problem, so. We currently have a stacked hand, since we haven't been hitting our land drops, but yeah, we managed to still play this pretty well against our opponents, so land is good, but that's not the land we're looking for. Just going to deploy my creatures here to stabilize the board. And then we can cast Elemental Summoning maybe next turn to grow the Serpentine Curve. Enthusiastic Study, so that can give this +3/+1, so he can deal 7. So I might need to be careful with this, so I'm probably gonna put a bunch of stuff in front of this. So how much damage is this? So this is gonna become a 7-powered creature. So, and then if he pumps this, it's gonna be 5 toughness. I could still take some of the trample damage and block like this. I mean, he's gonna cast it. I'm hoping he doesn't have another trick here. I mean, if he casts this, what happens? He can also just kill both my Pledgemages. So I think this fine block is okay if he has like another removal spell. I can always block next turn with my other threats, so I think this is okay. And then hopefully he just doesn't have another. Okay, at least it's gone. So that's good. And I can play Frost Trickster, although probably just want to get the Elemental Summoning out first. And then attack with both of these. That way he takes 2. And then I can still Frost Trickster this down next turn and then attack with a lot of damage. So I guess I can Frost Trickster and Academic Dispute. That's a bomb, okay. I guess I can force this to block at least. And that can be alright. And hopefully he doesn't have anything, because this card is pretty bonkers. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. At least he's tapped out and I can Academic Dispute and get rid of Prismari before he becomes a huge problem. Because this card is pretty insane, so... Yep. Force it to block. Decline. And then... could just take another Elemental Summoning since it's going to be large enough. Play land, move to combat. And then force Nastari to trade. So that's quite good, and then, yeah, we could just play Serpentine Curve, although maybe exiling this could be better, but I do like, yeah, exiling this could be better. I mean, I can tap this down. Yeah, let's just, let's just play for mana efficiency. Even though I don't have to tap this, I can still hit him for 6 if I use the Frost Trickster next turn to take out this Pillar Drop Warden, so... I do have another Igneous Inspiration in the deck as well. I think the opponent's planning to get his Divide by 0, but I guess that can't really answer the 4/4. Seems fine. So probably going to have a worse Frost Trickster here, but the Serpentine Curve should look pretty spicy. So play land, play the Serpentine Curve, Frost Trickster the 1/5. Attack for 3. So yeah, I think he's just dead here. He didn't even use this spell to take out my 2/1, so he's probably just dead here. So yeah, got him. I like the fact that Academic Dispute plays very well with large creatures like the Serpentine Curves, of course, and also Prismari Pledgemages. So it can sometimes just function as a good removal spell. So that was quite good. Otherwise, Nastari was just going to win him the game. So at least he tapped out. So I was happy about that. Doesn't look like a good hand. I mean, if I get red mana, it could be okay, but overall I think it's a little bit ambitious. I mean, I can maybe play Quandrix Pledgemage, but I mean, if I don't get my land drop, this could be a disaster. So I think I'm mulliganing. This seems a little bit better. I think I'm keeping this, and I can bomb the Serpentine Curve or the Frost Trickster. Curve isn't going to be amazing. It can help me with the Quandrix Pledgemage, but I mean, with Dream Strix, it could be alright. But honestly, it's not going to be great, so I think I'll bomb the Curve and just hopefully play out the Pledgemage and hope it survives. Could always lead with Dream Strix first, since I don't really have any instances or sorceries to go along with the Pledgemage. Maybe it's fine just playing out the Dream Strix, and then if I can get a lesson to learn and curve out with the Pledgemage is quite good, so maybe this is just better. Spectacle Mage. Am I fine with this trading? I mean, I don't mind this trading, honestly. If it trades, I can play out Pledgemage and still, maybe turn 5 get the Spirit Summoning, so it's okay, and then we can still play the Pledgemage here. Play land, say go. I think he wants to keep this alive to get a discount, of course, so. Probably see a removal spell in the Pledgemage, maybe a Heated Debate. Yup. Curve isn't looking super amazing, so probably just 3-drop into 2-drop here. Opponent did miss his land drop, so gotta take note of that. And just start pressuring him in the skies. I like how this is a 2-drop. Okay, he gets to learn here too. But he is taking the extra damage from Dream Strix at least, so opponent might have a similar deck to mine. The Anatomy is going to be a problem though. Yep, and Anatomy is definitely going to be a problem. This is going to become a 4-4. Although he's just going to play on Maelstrom Muse, which is probably going to be even a bigger problem, and we're just drawing nothing but a bunch of lands, so we're probably not going to win this if he just puts a bunch of counters on his Muse and attacks with it. Yeah, we're just basically dead here. Could have drawn into some action, but I guess one thing this deck is lacking is card damage. So at least I have a Curate. Wow, double Maelstrom Muse. At least I can maybe cast an Inspiration here to get this out of the way. And then at least I can learn maybe a Fractal Summoning. Yeah, I think I like the Fractal Summoning because it can become a 5-5. Still gonna attack here. I mean, I could have attacked first, actually. Oh, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I could cast a Spirit Summoning, but maybe just grab an Elemental Summoning instead. Play land, say go. Maybe I can make a large... Yeah, I should have attacked first and then use the Igneous Inspiration, but now he just gets a huge discount of all of his spells, and I'm totally screwed, so that was a huge misplay. Surprised he hasn't used the Anatomy yet as well. Yeah, that's just game over. Yep, good games. Opponent had a better deck, and he just answered my Pledgemage too early, so... Maybe I took out one Maelstrom Muse. Yeah, I should just attack with all and then just use the Igneous Inspiration to maybe finish him off or go face. But it was definitely really difficult to win from there with the Expanded Anatomy. Once he was able to learn that up, he could just block my flyers all day, so... I forgot the Ingenious Inspiration is only 3 damage and not 4, so... I actually thought that was Heated Debate, so I messed up a bit there, so... Alright. First loss. I mean, we did our best, but there's no way we're being double Maelstrom Muse. We also have our own Maelstrom Muse, so keep that in mind. But he was able to just defend against us pretty well, so let's see. Opening hand, I mean, if we get blue mana for Pledgemage, it's great, but other than that, it's still kind of iffy. I mean, this is a pretty defensive hand, but probably need more lands, so let's mull. This hand's also not great, but I think I'm keeping. And then what can we bottom? Probably the Waterfall Aerialist, since we do have some flyers here. Yeah, and the Curate could be okay to maybe help me find some playables. So if I hit blue mana, I'm more interested in playing out the Pledgemage, since I can Curate an attack. But I'm probably fine playing out the Historian, so I can at least attack for 2, since I might just play Prismari Pledgemage on turn 3 instead, and then use the Curate the following turn. Find the trade. I'm fine to trade. This is a pretty good trade, actually, so I'm quite surprised he blocked. And this can come back as a 3-2. This card's at its best in Laurel, but I'm still playing 2 copies to at least have a 2-drop to pressure the opponent with. Fight spells won't kill this, so he needs to play a large creature. I can ramp out a Pigment Storm next turn as well. Ooh, that's quite good. Alright, that's quite a good card. Dream Strix. I guess I can attack. I do want to get him for 5, so I could Curate for a land here, which I desperately need. Yeah, let's definitely put them. I think I need more blue, and then I'm fine keeping the island on top and then drawing it because I don't really need 6 lands. So this turn was pretty nice, and then attack for 6, 5, and definitely don't see anything block here. Now Dream Strix is good, so and a Pigment Storm can maybe kill something large. So yeah, just applying the pressure, and Professor is okay. I don't even think I need to kill it, to be honest. I mean, if I kill this, it's not that bad, since it doesn't get a good block, and I already had double Pigment Storm, so this seems good. And I think I'm fine main phasing, since I can also attack with their Pledgemage, force a chump here, and then just deal a ton of damage. And then another Pigment Storm should be able to deal with anything large. Putrefy, that's a good one. Could just Pigment Storm just to get the damage across, which could also be reasonable. Sure. And then I can just make a 5-5 and attack with the 3-3 next turn. Fine taking 3. Don't think there's, I guess like there could be a 1-drop in the deck, not sure. Yeah, let's hold on to a land, no need to play it, since we can't really double spell Pigment Storm or Illustrious Historian. I think I can kill that, and then we should be good to go. Yeah, he should just be dead here, so just play a million removal spells, and it's basically the game of Magic. Yep. Yeah, I had fun. Probably not the opponent, because I just templed him out too aggressively. Surprised there wasn't a reprint of Baleful Strix in the set. Can never say no to an Quandrix Pledgemage opening hand. So that's pretty good. Ooh, yep, that's why we put some 2-drops in the deck. So this curve is looking really good. And hopefully it doesn't kill the Pledgemage, so let's get in there. Overperformer in the Prismari decks. I mean, it's just a good card in general. Tome Shredder, I'm happy just killing. And it's a pretty good target for the Igneous Inspiration. So let's just get rid of it now. Before it just grows to Oblivion. And then, yeah, I'll take a Elemental Summoning. Also, although Spirit Summoning could be alright, but I do have another Ingenious Inspiration the following turn, so this seems okay. And if we get a land drop, just playing the Elemental Summoning is disgusting, so that's fine. Stormkill Martis, I can kill again with another Inspiration. I can also tap it down, but yeah, this is a good target still. Just gonna keep. And yeah, it's just game over. This is basically like War to Spark. When you play blue-red, you just play removal spells, grow a Spellgorger Weird. I think it's called Spellgorger Weird. I don't know. It's the red one. I know the blue one's called like Spellgorger something. They're both Spellgorgers. I forgot. Spellgorger of the blue. They're both Spellgorgers, but the red Spellgorger that just gets out of hand and you just play 2-drop and a 3-drop and just kill their stuff and just smash with a 5/5 every single turn is pretty gross. Yeah, but double Ingenious Inspiration, so glad that I have actually abandoned my Cultivate Pack 1 Pick 1 and went with the red route and took the Heated Debate and just went for the most powerful, flexible card in that pack. Should name this draft Prismari Tempo instead of Is It Tempo? Like, what am I thinking? Or are we just lucky getting double blue on turn 3 all the time? Yeah, this isn't a bad hand. It's not impressive either, but maybe we can draw into some things. Can always Arcane Subtraction to cycle, and being on the play, I don't really want to mull, so I'll try this. And we can draw into some 2-drops or 3-drops, hopefully, but we always have Maelstrom Muse on turn 4 if we need to. We can always cycle Arcane Subtraction as well. But don't think I need to. Don't think I care about 2-1. Yeah, I don't think I want to cycle this. Like, I could cycle this to hit a 5-drop, but this could come up later. So probably fine just playing Frost Trickster here, tapping this down, and then start swinging for 2 in the air. And then the Muses also gives us a discount for spells too, so that's pretty cool. Surprised opponent didn't play black mana, so... So this is an attack trigger. It doesn't necessarily have to deal damage for this to resolve, so that's quite good. Hopefully it doesn't have like the removal spell, the end of turn exile, put a counter. Although this is not a good creature to really put a counter onto, so... Ooh, Silver Quill Command. Yeah, let's sacrifice a Frost Trickster. I mean, at least this doesn't deal damage. Still a decent card, but not sure if I would first pick it. Could always just attack, play Igneous Inspiration, learn, get a 5-drop, because I could play a 5-drop next turn, and that can be important, so yeah, let's just do that. If I get my land drop to hit a 5-drop, that can be quite awesome, and I mean, I could also just Arcane Subtraction here, to be honest. Maybe that's just better. I actually could have done it on his turn, so that was a bit of a misplay, so next turn I can at least maybe attack and then play the Elemental Summoning if I don't hit my land drop, so yeah, I should have used it on him to prevent 2 damage, but I'm an idiot, so don't blame me. Yeah, I should have just attacked, kept this up. I think I can kill this end of turn, since it can grow to be quite scary. And it's just good on curve. Alright, we got our 3-drop anyways. I think I'll just attack and then play out the Elemental Summoning. And then I can still... I guess I can Serpentine Curve instead, but nah, let's just get out the Summoning here. And I don't think I need to use my removal spells. I mean, I guess I can only cast 1 spell, so... Overall, this deck doesn't look too impressive, although Blade Historian is quite scary. How much am I taking? 8? I guess I can take 8. And then I can... I guess I want an Igneous Inspiration here, and then... find... another Elemental Summoning. Attack with both, and I can still play out Serpentine Curve. And that's quite nice. And that's a 5/5. So yeah, Prismari Tempo, doing it. Just play all the removal and all the payoffs for casting a million spells. Pretty interesting attack. I think I'm blocking the Campus Guide. Sure, I mean, at least it trades. And I don't take 7 and take a million, because there's a chance he could have a pump spell, of course, so... Ageless Guardian, not a card I'm too scared about, so... I guess I can just shoot his face and it's game over, so let's just attack with all. I mean, unless he doesn't chump. Chumping isn't bad, I guess. And then I can also just play Waterfall Aerialist, and then Igneous Inspiration this, but that doesn't seem that great, so just play this out and say go. Can always finish him next turn with Igneous Inspiration and attack for 2 in the air. Yeah, it's probably just game over at this point. So we have multiple ways to basically kill him here. Let's just start by using Heat Debate. And then let's just start by using Inspiration to the face, yeah. Sometimes you just play a bunch of removal spells and you win. But keep in mind, if you want to play a deck with a bunch of removal spells and you want to win the game and with creatures, you want to make sure it's a little bit more aggressive than usual. Otherwise, you just end up in a control deck that wants to get to the late game, just clear the board of stuff and play their bombs, and hopefully they survive. But in a deck like this, is mostly just it's just aggressive, and I think is a lot more effective than the more controlling decks. But I'm still, I guess it's because I do have payoffs like Serpentine Curve for casting all these cards and Quandrix Pledgemage, so that makes sense. Alright, we're on the roll, just currently 5-2 with Prismari tempo. And 17 lands is still doing fine. Don't think I need to make any changes. This deck looks pretty awesome. And hopefully get to 7. This hand doesn't look great. We're on the play, but no red mana, so I think it's a mulligan. This looks slightly better. Although we don't have double blue for the Pledgemage, so I might just have to ditch the Pledgemage and then just go Illustrious Historian and Frost Trickster. I could also be greedy and bottom a land, but on the play I don't think I want to, so unfortunately I think Pledgemage has to go, because if we don't get double blue, that's going to be a problem. I do want to curve out 2-drop and a 3-drop. So we'll think about next turn whether or not we should have bottom either the land or Prismari Pledgemage. Hunt. Do I really want to tap down a token and get him for 2? I guess I do, because I just want to get a flyer out. Wow. Yeah, I guess I should have kept up the Pledgemage, so that's too bad. Can kill the... I guess he can always make 1/1 tokens, which are kind of annoying. But at least I have a 2/2 flyer. That's annoying. But, I mean, he would need to pump this to get this out of the way. Guess he's playing the stack for Bayou Graph. Makes sense. I can always 2-for-1 myself to finish this off with the Igneous Inspiration. It could actually be reasonable. Although I could just play the Pledgemage. I don't know, let's just attack for 2. Because he's probably going to block with the 1/1 here and play it safe. Just play this instead. And if we Igneous Inspiration something we can kill, it could be quite nice. Probably see a fight spell here. Combat Professor, so Abzan. Not often do I see people draft Abzan in this set. I could also just double block this, because this could be a problem. I mean, it's going to be tapped. I can take it and then swing back. Killing this would be nice, though, actually. Yeah, maybe I do kill this, because I can always reanimate this on turn 5 instead. And taking 7 is a lot, so I think 2-for-1ing myself here is okay. Since I, again, can always go back to the Illustrious Historian. And I could also Pigment Storm this, but I think the Inspiration is just fine. Because we might want to kill something larger. This gets a little bit annoying because he gets chump blockers, but I'm hoping at least I can eventually clear a path to get rid of it. Probably need to Pigment Storm this. Yeah, I think we do. Just want to outrace this opponent before he stabilizes. And if he chumps, then he's just gonna lose his flyer. Wow, that's a bomb. Yeah, I don't know if I can beat Blot Out the Sky. That's definitely a card that's not easy to beat. So I think we just play land, play elemental summoning, and hopefully, yeah, Blow Out the Sky is a complete bomb. I see the reason why he's flashing white now. It's because this card is just insane. Yeah, good luck beating that. I mean, hopefully I can maybe outrace him. He's just going to make these pest tokens and jump block all day and finish me off in the air. So I might need to keep the Frost Trickster on defense, actually. Yeah, this doesn't look good. Definitely not where I want to be. Probably still need to attack with a 4/4. I can maybe force the other one to gain reach and Academic Dispute. Maybe that's not a bad idea. And he might just stay back. Because I could clear his blockers, he goes back up to 11, he can chump block. I guess that's also not very good. So probably just want to stay back, maybe eat a flyer, and then with the Arcane Subtraction and go from there. So I guess I can always attack for 4. Force a chump block at least, and then maybe Arcane Subtraction, one of the 2 ones. Yeah, it's not looking good here. Can't be the bomb. And if he attacks with Eye Twitch, he still gets to learn, so that's kind of annoying. Yeah, just getting our elemental summoning. Taking 5. Yeah, it's not looking good. I guess I'm just dead, even if I trade, so yeah, just a complete bomb. Can't beat a card like this. Even has an expel here too. Alright, maybe I can find a removal to take out one of the Inklings and I can still survive by 1 maybe. Although now he's just making a bunch of 1/1s. Yeah, can't really beat this, it's just too much. Yeah, just game over. Alright, that's a little bit disappointing, but at least with 5 and 2. Yeah, 2 more wins still, but we're close, we're getting there. And this deck, I think we could have gotten through fine if it wasn't for Blow Out the Sky. We had 2 elemental summonings that we could have grabbed, and we could have just applied a lot of pressure against him, but that's why it's a mythic bomb that you first pick. Alright, 2 more. We can do this. Just hope for the best. Hopefully we don't face against Blow Out the Sky again. I think that was Blow Out the Sky for, I think, 4. Yeah, that's hard to beat. I think it was 3, actually. Not sure. 3, 4. Yeah, it was 3, because I could Arcane Subtract one of them. Maybe I shouldn't have been aggressive. Don't know. And I could survive for maybe 1 more turn. Alright, opening hand. Pledgemage could be fine. I mean, we just need a land, basically, to play Quandrix Pledgemage and Strix. So I think I'll risk it here. It could go pretty badly, but I think with 17 lands, I'm fine. I do have a tap land, so that can also punish me. And that's good, just curving out here, and probably lead with Dream Strix, since I don't really have anything to play along with the Quandrix Pledgemage. And it's just a target that he might want to just get rid of. And I can still learn with this if it dies, and it hits harder than the Pledgemage if it goes uncontested. So another multicolor shenanigans deck. Gotta be careful that this does tap for color, any color. So Cultivate, yeah, definitely multicolor shenanigans deck. So just need to kill him quickly before he ramps into a ton of stuff. So you can play a 5-drop already next turn. Academic Dispute isn't too bad. Could always cycle it or force something to block with it, so... Hopefully nothing large, otherwise I need double red for Pigment Storm. That's an okay card. I can actually force that to trade for my Prismari Pledgemage. I can also Pigment Storm it. Or Curate, or Frost Trickster. Curate maybe into Frost Trickster seems pretty good. I think I like that over the other cards. I think this can go into the graveyard. And I think I just need to hit my lands. I mean, other than that, what if I keep it on top, what can happen? I definitely want to keep the land on top. Yeah, I probably don't need a second Pledge Mage next turn. It doesn't seem all that great. So probably just put in the graveyard, keep the land on top, play it. And then playing the Frost Trickster to put another aggressive creature onto play, and then maybe force him to chump here. You could have that. Seems okay at 12, so hopefully no board wipes. And we can maybe Pigment Storm something and get in a huge attack. Not a bad target to Curate or Academic Dispute, actually. Force it to block and then still attack. Maybe a fight spell here, yep. Sure. So Academic Disputing this isn't too bad. Although, let's see, what if I Pigment Storm this? It takes 3 down to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so if I use Pigment Storm on this, it takes 3, so he's down to 9. So he's gonna fall down to 1. So it could be reasonable to actually just Pigment Storm here and put him down to 1. And I don't know if he can gain 1,000,000 life, but yeah, this seems good. And then just put him down to 1. Yeah. So any flyer is just lethal, and he needs to gain life in 1 turn. Yep. Awesome. Alright, one more game. Hopefully we can get to 7. But overall, this deck has been overperforming and doing very well. Just lost against Blot Out the Sky, and I think against another deck where we got mana screwed or something. I can know it was another Prismari deck that was more defensive and definitely just had too many high toughness creatures. The double Maelstrom Muse and Spectacle Mage. Even though, I did my best against that opponent, I also don't think I could have won that, so let's hopefully just aggro the next opponent out, and just collect our 7 wins and be happy. So, alright, let's do this. Final boss, Prismari Tempo. Come on, let's get our first 7 wins here. Historian Pledgemage, okay. I mean, we have to live the dream, right? Always turn 3 Quandrix Pledgemage with double blue, somehow. Yeah. He's on the play, though, so, I mean, yeah. We would love to be on the play, but sometimes you can't have them all. He had the mulligan at least, so not that bad, so. Alright, so turn 2 Illustrious Historian, turn 3 Pledgemage, double Igneous Inspiration. Guess that's alright. I could also just trade here, since he can just play his Pest Summoning, and at least it gets rid of a Pest token. Because I don't know how we can pump past this, honestly. Yeah, I might just trade here. Although he just passes the turn, so he's missing his land drops. Yeah, let's just trade. I think I'm totally fine with the block here, since I can get this back on turn 5. He misses his land drops, so hopefully no eliminates on my Quandrix Pledgemage. Alright, come on. We can do this. No eliminates, no eliminates. Oh no, slight pause, eliminates. Okay, no eliminates. I think he would have done it end of turn. Okay, just passes, alright. I could just shoot him in the face with the Igneous Inspiration. Serpentine Curve seems kind of bad here. Yeah, let's just do that. Just start pressuring the opponent, and then we can also play a turn 5 Elemental Summoning. Gotta get him while he's low, but while he's mana screwed, I mean. And this at least grows it so he can't double block with the Pest Summoning. Okay, he's just gonna cast it, I guess. Or cast a removal spell, we'll see. Callous Blood Mage. Might just use this to draw a card, but he's losing a life. Main phase is to get the extra damage. And then maybe we can Pigment Storm to deal a ton. And smash you next turn as well. Or just cast another Igneous Inspiration into another 5/5 Elemental, but I think we can win this if he doesn't kill our stuff. We can Frost Trickster instead. Yeah, maybe that's fine. Igneous into Frost Trickster seems pretty good. And I think we'll just kill a Callous Blood Mage, of course. And then get another Elemental Summoning. And then Frost Trickster, one of the 1/1 tokens. And then he's most likely just going to chump the 5/5 and take 4, I think. Just gotta be hyper aggressive against these decks before they gain 1,000,000 life and kill all their stuff, so. Yeah. 1 against Mana Screw, Land Screw, I mean, and not a bad 7-win deck. All the games we won, we curved out pretty aggressively and pretty nicely too. Either it's turn 2 Illustrious Historian, or turn 2 Prismari Pledgemage into Quandrix Pledgemage, and we just and if they survived, we basically won the game because we had a lot of removal to clear a path and back them up. So yeah, sometimes you just draft all the removal spells, play a bunch of creatures, and you just win. The games we lost to, again, a bomb rare, Blot Out the Sky, and a creature that had double Maelstrom Muse with 4 toughness that we couldn't attack past. And they have flying too, so not only were they good ground blockers, but they flew, and they also gave discounts for their instances in the sorcery, so no way were we going to win that. So yeah, Prismari Tempo, there we have it. Sorry for the cost, folks. It's allergy season, but yeah, let's just do an overview of the deck. Just a very aggressive version of the Prismari deck. There's, again, the more controlling version with Spectacle Mages and multiple Maelstrom Muses and more 7-drop removal spells that are looking to cycle and make treasures. But this one is just a straightforward aggressive deck. We cut out Pop Quiz for the Arcane Subtraction, since it's just a cheaper card that allows me to learn, and I think better in an aggressive deck regardless. And the 3s were pretty much stacked. Had 2 copies of Pledgemage and 2 copies of Frost Trickster. Dream Strix was also pretty awesome. And then, yeah, these... I think the best cards in this deck were the Heated Debates and Igneous Inspiration for sure. Serpentine Curve also pretty awesome in this deck, since I was able to cast a lot of instances and sorceries. Keep in mind, it's since we have a lot to learn, we also found ways to learn up the spirits elemental summonings, which also feel the Serpentine Curve, which is pretty awesome. Didn't see the Waterfall Aerials too much. I don't think we played them once a single game. I think this was the only card we didn't play. Academic Disputes, we did get one nice kill off of a game where we killed a bomb rare by trading our elemental summoning with it, but still kind of iffy, I have to say. Not an amazing card, and sometimes a lot more situational, but sometimes if you can play a very large creature, have it survive, and then Academic Dispute, you can use this as removal in a sense, and also learn, so it's okay, but I don't really think it's that impactful. And with 17 lands, we still managed to get there. 17 lands is important since we do want to search up the elemental summonings to cast on 5 as some of our 5 drops. So yeah, pretty nice deck, and overall pretty impressed by the Prismari aggro decks. Hopefully we draft a control deck next time. But yeah, let's crack some packs and celebrate our first 7-win Strixhaven. And then let's see. All right, pack 1, pick 1. This pack is terrible. Hall of the Oracles is pretty difficult to enable. I think the best card in this pack is actually just Burying Books. Usually cards like this aren't amazing in this set, but blue tends to be very controlling, so it's nice to have it's nice that this gets a 2-mana discount, since it can you can just cast this for 3 to balance an attacking creature, and it's also nice just even if you use this on like a bad creature as well, even if it's not a good creature, since they're forced to draw into the bad creature and miss out on their draw step by drawing the bad creature and having them to recast it. So, and given that there's lots of tokens in this set, Burying Books also just overperform, so definitely a good blue common. And I think blue is very good in this set. Nothing else too exciting in this pack. The Mystical Archive is very medium, so don't think Clever Luminancer comes up as often, but could be experimental. If you play lots of like ways to put counters onto creatures, this card can actually hit for a ton. If you can turn 1 and then play like a Guiding Lesson or like a Guiding Voice, or Essence Infusion into this, it's pretty insane. So yeah, don't sleep on Clever Luminancer. It can definitely be strong, but has to go in the correct Silver Quill deck. But probably still prefer Burying Books. Wandering Arcade is a nice card. It can go into any deck, and yeah, it just it makes it a nightmare for the opponent to cast their instances and sorceries, because you can just copy them and then have your own spell. So that's great. Don't know what does a sorcery have to. Let's see. Look at the top 5 cards. Doesn't seem great. Explorative Vasslands is not what you want to play in Limited, but this is just a great card in general. Definitely a first pick. Creative Outbursts, I think it's good, but I think it's just too expensive for what it does. It's just it's a nice 2-for-1. You kill something and you also draw a card, but which is basically a Rouse Outburst for 7 mana. But typically speaking, it's just too expensive for 7 mana just to do. At 7 mana, it should do more. Maybe like kill 2 creatures instead of 1 and draw you a card. Or maybe just or tap a bunch of stuff down, but I think it's too expensive for what it's worth, and between these 2 cards, I think I would still take Mage Duel over Frost Trickster. Mage Hunter is also pretty reasonable 4-drop, can be okay if you're aggressive enough, but probably Mage Duel over Frost Trickster just as a good removal spell. And between green and blue, I think they're both close in power level in this set. Blue has been very impressive, same with green, but green has Field Trip, which I think is also an excellent green common, but yeah, Wandering Archaic, probably the pick here. Wandering Archaic. I know I keep speaking really fast, so bear with me. Yeah, Velomachus is great. You can splash this in Prismari, and I wouldn't be I would be down splashing this in the Silver Quill deck too. Although Silver Quill wants to be hyper aggressive, so maybe he doesn't have room for a 7-drop since it's looking to just end the game quickly. But definitely wouldn't mind splashing this in the Prismari deck. This card is just an insane bomb, and then yeah, this is insane. The fact that it searches up instances and sorceries makes it even better in Prismari. It's not going to be, which is kind of funny because Lorehold is full of mostly creature spells and permanents, whereas Prismari is full of instances and sorceries. So this is actually better in a controlling Prismari deck, where you can just attack and then just put a spell into the graveyard. So yeah, this card is great. Eureka Moment's also excellent. Not a big fan of Plum the Forbidden, but could be playable. Same with Tome Shredder. Pretty good in lore hold, but outside of that, it's not amazing. So yeah, Velomachus is great. Just easy Dragon's Guard Elite. Mind's Desire is pretty expensive for what it's worth, and yeah, and casting Storm with this is pretty difficult since it's 6 mana. And yeah, you might not even find anything good off the top, so forget it. Don't even try it. Professor will probably be the second pick here, but Dragon's Guard Elite is obviously the first. So yeah, just a great card. And in the late game, it just becomes unbeatable if it doesn't get answered. So, I mean, I guess most cards are unbeatable if they don't get answered, of course, but the card can just attack past anything. Probably take Shock over Illuminate History. Illuminate History could be a reasonable lesson, though. A nice, decent way to draw in any red deck. Maybe discard lands in the late game, and then it can also just make a 3/2 token, although it's sorcery speed, so it's pretty decent in lore hold. Usually in Prismari, there's a lot of card draw already in blue, so you don't necessarily need this, but it's a nice backup lesson. Probably still take Shock, though, since 2 damage for 1 red is pretty good, and removal is removal, and it's quite efficient. Ecological Appreciation doesn't seem amazing. 4 cards, mana value X or less. Chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library. The rest into the battlefield. Exile. It can be okay, but it takes a lot of mana, so definitely going to be at its best in Quandrix. And I just finally realized this is actually the picture when you enter the Premier Draft. It's this picture here. It's kind of funny because it does have the art looks like it's Witterbloom, but it's actually a card that you want to play in Quandrix, since you're mostly looking to ramp in that archetype. And it seems okay, but the opponent can just put the 2 worst creatures back onto the. They can just choose the 2 best creatures, put them back in your library, and just put the other 2 worst creatures, and then put the 2 worst creatures. I mean, they can put the 2 best creatures back into your library and the 2 worst creatures onto your battlefield, and it's not that great. And usually in the late game, unless you have a lot of powerful creatures in your deck, I don't think this card's that great. This pack is just not great in general. There's an Essence Infusion. This card is pretty. I've been seeing Silver Quill play this card, and it's actually quite scary and quite good. Pillow Drop Rescuer, Stonebound Mentor. This pack is just not great. And probably take the Mage Hunter's Onslaught. This card is a joke. Don't ever play this. Humiliate is also really good in the Silver Quill decks, but Mage Hunter's Onslaught keeps us more open. And still a good card regardless. So probably take Mage Hunter over Humiliate. And then here, this pack isn't great. Might actually take Spirit Summoning over Silver Quill Silencer. It could be okay. I mean, this card I'll definitely play in the Silver Quill deck, but it's not anything exceptional. Whereas Spirit Summoning you can still play in multiple decks. Silver Quill, Lorehold, Prismari, and just very flexible and a decent spirit you can search up. Yeah, Silver Quill Silencer, pretty good. I mean, if you can know what to name, and then they aren't able to cast it or else they draw a card. But overall, still very narrow and iffy, whereas Spirit Summoning can go into multiple decks. So probably still take Spirit Summoning over Silver Quill Silencer. So there you have it. Nice 7-win video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'm probably going to load up another video and try to get another 7 wins. So thank you for watching, and hope you guys have enjoyed the rest of your day. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.